Hello, everybody. This is Jason's Sports Show, broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. I'm Jason Gerline. I haven't been on in a few weeks. There's been a lot of sports going on. A lot of the LA teams, some of them have been struggling. The Lakers trying to get back. The Clippers lost Chris Paul and trying to deal away Eric Bledsoe, the point guard right now for the Clips. Current score of the game between the Washington Wizards and the Clippers is 19-9 in favor of the Wizards. So we'll check back on that game later on, maybe. But first, Super Bowl, of course. The Ravens win the second Super Bowl in their franchise history. And the Niners are no longer undefeated in the Super Bowl. Let's break it down. Ravens' first half was a great half, a little bit one-sided, but I think, and then of course there's the blackout in the second half. So, did that affect the game? Did I really have a big impact on the game? Might have, probably did. The only other blackout on the field was the Ravens offense. They really didn't get back in the game until late in the game when they had the chance. They got 2 field goals, which put them in good position to win. But they allowed 3 consecutive scores by San Fran to help them that allow them to get back in the game, which is a huge mistake. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. But I mean, after the third quarter, it's looking like it'd be a close game. Then again, that drive by the Ravens in the fourth quarter, getting Justin Tucker the 19-yard field goal to put them up by 8 points, 31-23. Colin Kaepernick had a great run for a touchdown. They failed the 2-point conversion, which made a huge difference, I think, in this game, because the score would have been 31 at that point, but instead it was 31-29. About 5 minutes later, Justin Tucker gets a 38-yarder, puts up the Ravens by 5. Now we're looking at a totally different game. If it was 31-34, even with the Ravens winning, San Fran wouldn't need to do what they did on their last drive. They tried for a touchdown. They got up the field pretty quickly. They felt good. It looked as though maybe the Ravens would try that strategy that the Patriots applied last Super Bowl, where they let the Giants score and hopefully get the ball back. But that wasn't the case. Ravens wanted to defend. So, Frank Gore was 1st and 10 on the Baltimore 40. Ran for 33 yards within the 10. Now, if you're a San Fran fan during this part, you're probably thinking, oh, this game's over. It's over. Let's get our clam chowder and a bread bowl and start the parade. Go down to Fisherman's Wharf, start partying. Baltimore, the inner harbor is not a place you want to be right now, especially if there's a bunch of Raven fans. But fate had a different idea for this. Michael James runs for 2 yards. So, 2nd and 5. Second goal on the Baltimore 5. Kaepernick, incomplete pass to Crabtree. Timeout by San Fran. Their second timeout. They only had 1 timeout after that. Then, this is a game changer right here. Because I saw this play and I said, why? He tries for another pass to Crabtree. Another pass to Crabtree. You think he's going to be open after not getting open before? Maybe. Maybe, just maybe. And here's the very controversial play. Kaepernick throws an incomplete throw to Crabtree, throws it out of bounds. And was it really thrown out of bounds? A lot of people said that Crabtree could have caught it. It was a catchable ball, I'd say. It would have reminded me of that Super Bowl with the Cards and Steelers. That was close enough to almost getting in. I mean, there's no almost in the NFL, not in the Super Bowl. You don't almost get in. You either get it or you don't. Crabtree got held. I thought he got held. But in the moment, when I was watching that game, my friend's house, with a majority of San Fran fans there, I believed that he just didn't get it. It's debatable. I'm gonna look at the video right now, but of what happened, I thought it was a holding call, but I mean that play basically changed the game. That changed the whole aspect of the game. The whole game up to that point, comebacks, everything would have been okay. But something just didn't go right for San Fran. 49ers didn't have it. That's just how the game was. It was close. Maybe if they didn't get held, was it really a holding call? Was it a holding call? They didn't call it. A lot of people. I talked to a lot of people at school today, and they said that it's holding, but they're San Fran fans. So I'm like, okay, but just because they're supporting the California team doesn't really mean you know that much about football. Here's the call from ESPN with the recap and the incomplete pass.
The defense just can't respond back. So now, 4th and goal. The loss, and it's just nowhere near Crabtree. Jim Harbaugh wants holding, but the Ravens in the end make a defensive stand. It doesn't even look like the two of them are running the same thing.
Well, you know, I can't stand the fade of the end zone for the game when you've got such a huge playbook and so many dynamic players.
And there it is, Joe Flacco. Ravens, a great moment between the brothers.
There you have it. I don't like it when it comes down to the end zone. Kaepernick had a choice. And 3 of those opportunities he gave away basically because he threw it to Crabtree. Crabtree had 5 receptions, a touchdown. You have to trust the guy. You're going to trust probably one of your best receivers. I mean, where's your faith? Where are you putting your faith in? Kaepernick played well. Frank Gore played well. Vern Davis played pretty well too. But who made the difference? Antoine Bolden? Joe Flacco? Ray Rice? The Ravens were the better team. I don't care what Frank Gore has to say. Ravens were a better team. They played the first half better. And sure, they kind of played pretty bad for the second half. They didn't have a fantastic performance, nothing to write home about. But they played well enough to win. And that's kind of been their call this season. They're just playing well enough to win. You look at the Ravens' schedule, the games they've lost. They lost to Philly. They lost to Houston. They got blew out in Houston. And they had a 3-game losing streak, and they lost to Pittsburgh, Washington, only by 3 points. And then they get killed at home by the Broncos. They lost to Cincinnati. So in their last 5 games, they went 1-4. And you look at their victories. They beat Pittsburgh by 3. They beat San Diego by 3. Of course, they destroyed Oakland by 35. They beat Cleveland. And they beat Dallas, who not even a playoff team, who had a really rocky year this year. They beat Kansas City, who they probably should have maybe blown out more. But it's Kansas City. They just do enough to win. That's their calling. That's what they should be doing. They just do enough to win. They put in enough into the game. They put enough effort into the game to win games. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to beat a team like Philadelphia or Cleveland or Kansas City by 30 points every single time. That's their belief. You don't have to do that. A lot of other teams, hint, Texans, hint, Broncos, they believe that you need to be able to destroy a team. Texans couldn't have been able to do that. They lost to Green Bay, then they lost to New England, and they lost to Indianapolis. They lost to Minnesota. Because they just kept on trying so hard to win these huge games that weren't really, like, you can't really see them winning the game. You can't visually see them winning the game. Because, I mean, sure, they won a bunch of games. Like teams like Jacksonville and Detroit, weren't they supposed to blow them out? But they didn't. They have a really strong team. It's fun being a Texans fan, I guess, during this year. But those last few weeks, where the Texans went 2-3, that did not instill a positive attitude. But enough of the Texans. Ravens believe do enough to win. Niners, they lost to Minnesota, which was, I kind of saw. I remember watching that game. I remember seeing the beginning of the game on that Sunday morning. I said, "That's an upset right there. Minnesota was gonna win at home." And then the Niners, they just fell to the Giants, and they lost by 23, which is nothing to be proud about. And then they lose to St. Louis by 3. Then they get destroyed by Seattle. Who are the teams that the 49ers really demolished? The Jets, Buffalo, the Bills, yeah. The Cardinals, yeah. The Bears, the Bears, they destroyed the Bears. New England, they could have won that game by a lot more, but the 49ers kind of slacked off in the fourth quarter. So they 49ers had chances. They destroyed teams. They demolished teams, but were they really doing as much as they really have that belief to just do as much as they can to win? Because they're more into it. I mean, everyone wants to win, but there's a certain amount, a certain extent of how far you go to win, or how much you want to win by. If you're playing New England, you just want to win. But if you're playing Cleveland or Kansas City or Jacksonville, you want to win by a lot. The Ravens only had about 2 20-plus wins. I mean that win against New York was pretty close too. But I don't think they can take the same philosophy into next season when they're defending champs. I don't believe that the Ravens have enough to win another championship as of right now. Win when you can. You don't have to win by a lot, but win when you can. That's not going to work, especially in a division like the North. If Pittsburgh actually kind of improves and gets their stuff together, Cincinnati becomes an elite team, and Cleveland adds like 3 wins to their win total. 3 more wins. Winning is just not enough. You have to be able to demolish your team be able to prove that you're good. 49ers, I do believe that they are going to win the championship next season. Why do I believe that? Because Kaepernick will have a full season to play. Alex Smith, I don't believe he's going to stay in San Fran. Everyone's like, oh, Alex Smith, so great. Take this into perspective. Alex Smith didn't just suddenly show up after, before 2011. But he was there after 2000, more like 2010. He didn't just magically show up. He's been there. He's played for 8 years. In those years when they didn't make the playoffs, he was decent enough. His QBR wasn't really that high. It's a 40. I guess you could call it okay. His rating before, he wasn't an elite quarterback. I wouldn't say that. Not even close. In the 80s range. What does that say? People are like, oh, why doesn't Alex Smith start? Because he's not elite. Colin Kaepernick can play. I don't know the 49ers like everyone else does. I haven't been following them for my whole life. But Kaepernick brought new life to that team. And Smith played 10 games this season, and he had an amazing rating. But after that injury, I don't know what people were thinking. What if his QB rating stayed the same? Would have always been the same for the last 6 games of the season into the playoffs? I'm pretty sure they didn't want to take that chance because that's just risky. It's a risky game to be playing with a team that's finally in the playoffs and has a quarterback, Kaepernick, who can actually play. Alex Smith, 2009 season. His first, 2006 was actually more of his first real year. So we'll look at that. 2006. How did Alex Smith do? He came 22nd in the league. Not bad, right? 2009. And just to state something, being in the top 10 or top 15 is good enough. Alex Smith finishes in 19th. A little bit better. Not that bad. 15 and above would be elite, probably. Because there's kind of a cutoff line. Eli Manning is not even in the top 15 for this list, and I'm looking at the 2010 stats. Alex Smith, 21st in the league in QB rating. And just to be clear, top 5 guys: Tom Brady, Phillips, Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, Michael Vick, Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of good quarterbacks up here. A lot of good guys. 2011, the great year. Top 10. Did something change? Or did they just got good? The 49ers don't even have a top 20 guy as in terms of receiver. Maybe the top 40. They don't even have a top 40 guy in the statistics for yards in the 2011 season. So what made the 2011 team successful? Was it just the defense? Did the defense finally come to play? Who knows? All I'm saying is, back to the I always get off topic. Back to the topic. 2011 and 2013 season. It starts in September. Yeah. Alex Smith is gone. No more. Give him to a team that actually needs him. Jets. Or maybe even the Raiders. I know the Jets might be a good team. But I mean, does Mark Sanchez lose his job, or do they keep playing Mark Sanchez and Alex Smith does a Tebow and sits on the bench the whole season? See what happens. Anyways, off to other news. Baseball coming up soon. I'll have a show about predictions. Maybe I'll have a guest on there. But I don't know. I'll try to get my friend Bonnie. She's pretty good at baseball to be on the show. But we'll see when that is. I mean, the season's still a month away, but spring training's gonna start pretty soon. Also, the World Baseball Classic, starts soon. So we'll see what happens there. Some big news in terms of NBA. Oh, score update, by the way. Washington is beating the Clippers 30-22. Anyways, here's a rumor. NBA. The ticket. Kevin Durant wants to go. Not wants to go, but he's thinking about going to the Clippers. Should he go to the Clippers? Clippers have 2 power forwards already. Lamar Odom and of course Blake Griffin. Does this help him? Maybe Kevin Garnett can play backup center, but who they're giving up for Kevin Durant, in my book, I don't really know. Caron Butler. Caron can play. He was pretty good in my opinion. Takes a lot of shots though. And Eric Bledsoe, who I think he's doing pretty well for us, but we've been losing games and it's not been good. I saw a report online saying that KG doesn't want to go to the Clippers. Really? Or doesn't? There haven't been any talks. ESPN reported that the Clippers are interested. So who to believe? The LA Times or ESPN? But if the trade goes through, what does that even mean for the Clippers and the Celtics? Celtics now have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. With Eric Bledsoe at the helm as a point guard, and with the team they have right now, with Paul Pierce being the original and only member of the Big Three, they could get the A spot easily. Clippers, leaving Eric Bledsoe out of the equation is risky. You have to make sure Billups stays healthy and can play backup point guard. That being said, you have 4 guards on the team. Small forward position, you have Matt Barnes. Is he going to play the whole entire game, or are we going to have some switch-ups? Power forwards, you have Blake Griffin, Kevin Garnett, sorry. You have Lamar Odom, and you have Trey Tompkins. Oh, I'm sorry. At small forward wouldn't actually be that much of a problem. They would have Grant Hill probably being the backup, probably being that second on the bench, that second string. So at this point, what we're looking at is you have about, what is it? You have 6 guys to play shooting guard, small forward, and point guard, and you have 7 guys to play power forward and center. Center is really not much of a problem, except I mean, obviously we have our 6 guys for the forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard position. But you have 7 guys for the big man positions. So who do you pick? You only pick 6 of them, because a limit obviously is it's 12 players per team. So take a look at this. Okay, so we have 6 players on the team for the Clippers in those positions. So Willie Green, Jamal Crawford, Chauncey Billups, Chris Paul, Matt Barnes, Grant Hill. And this is my projected lineup. These are my people who are going to be the teams. Then you have DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Garnett, Blake Griffin, Lamar Odom, Ronnie Terrioff, and Ryan Hollins. That's pretty good, in my opinion at least. It's pretty good for the team. Hopefully, that can be the lineup. I would love to see Kevin Garnett even play starting center or even backup. Our backup center is 6'10". Kevin Garnett, 6'11". I like it. But it depends if KJ even wants to leave Boston. I mean, he's putting up pretty good numbers. 14 points per game. Can't complain. But he's getting old. His career is winding down. Does he go out with another championship? Maybe with the Clippers? Or does he show his Celtic pride and stay in Beantown? It's a burning question that a lot of us are going to ask as the season goes on and as we approach that trade deadline, which is 17 days from now. So we'll see. Probably next show will probably be baseball, hopefully. Or something else happens. But right now, I gotta finish some homework. But I'll be back on. Better shows coming up soon. There's been a lot of personal stuff that's come up, but I'm back. Don't worry. Hopefully I can write some better material, but it's okay. Everything will be alright. Stay strong, National Sports Nation. Because we'll be back, and we'll be better than ever. Listen to the other shows on this station too. They're pretty good. I like them all. We have a lot of great talent on this station, and I think a lot of these guys are going somewhere. I don't know about me. I might be heading for USC summer program this summer. Check them out. USC offers great majors for the summer program. But wherever I go, I'll probably bring national sports with me. So, till next time, have fun, guys, and watch sports.